So this is the 17 Pro Max Cosmic Orange, the 512 gigabyte version. And today in this video, we are going to open it up live, set it up, and at the end of the video, make sure to stay tuned because we are going to be talking about whether the 17 Pro Max is actually worth the upgrade or is this just another yearly refresh from Apple. So make sure to stay tuned and let's get it. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having an amazing day and a happy new year to every single one of you guys out there. If you are new here, trust me, this is definitely not going to be your last time. My name is Ian, and on this channel we talk about tech, we talk about digital media, and also teach editing tutorials as well as lifestyle reviews in general. Now, with all of that out of the way, today's video is a full iPhone 17 Pro Max review, specifically the 512 gigabyte edition. And also towards the end of the video, I will also talk about what storage options you should go for depending on how you use your phone. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's actually go ahead and unbox this guy. All right, I lied. Now, before we open up the 17 Pro Max, let's actually go ahead and give our first impression on the box, the packaging itself. Now, Apple keeps it clean as always, right? Minimal design, as usual. Barely any writings, just the iPhone on the side and the back, the description, the relevant information about the phone, the name, the storage size, I believe. The iPhone not requiring any physical SIM, so it's an eSIM iPhone 17 Pro Max right here. And the fact that it's actually a Pro Max, actually my expectations are already high. And also this is the 512 gigabyte version as previously mentioned, which is actually a sweet spot for content creators. If you shoot a lot of videos or edit a lot of videos on your phone, this is a sweet spot. Of course, you can always go for 2 terabyte, 1 terabyte, and so on and so forth. But the 512 gigabyte is a sweet spot. Not the best, but it's a sweet spot to start with. Now, without further ado, let's actually open up the 17 Pro Max. My, take a look at this beauty. Or wow, is this a piece of art or what? This is beautiful. Anyways, as we're about to open it up right now, as you guys can see, very typical Apple behavior. Just the device and the charging cable, nothing else. No user manual, no nothing. I mean, they did explain officially that it's due to environmental reasons, but come on, I believe we all know it's just cost reduction and everything. Okay, let's go ahead and look at this beauty. Oof. Oof. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Let's put that on the side first. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the iPhone 17 Pro Max. As you guys can see, obviously, it comes with the power button on the side over here. Then over here, we have the camera button. It's a newly installed version. The 14 Pro Max doesn't have this option, of course. This is new to me. Of course, you can press the display itself, but they obviously have another one here for cameras and stuff. Obviously, here we have the mute at the top, just like any other iPhone. So there's the mute button, the volume up and volume down. All right, now let's talk about the design and display of the 17 Pro Max. First things first, let's actually talk about the colors available for this device. Now, there are 3 main colors for the 17 Pro Max. First, we have the Cosmic Orange, the Silver, and the Deep Blue, I believe. Now, the next thing you'll notice is that compared to the other series of the iPhone, the 17 Pro Max is quite light. For instance, if you take my 14 Pro Max there, the moment I start browsing, I start holding it and browsing for like 3 to 5 minutes, you start feeling the weight. Whereas with this device, the 17 Pro Max, it's quite light. And the reason for that is because Apple has slightly moved away from heavy plated titanium all the way to lightweight aluminum, and I believe they started with platinum from the 15 series. Now they are moving on to lightweight titanium with the 17 Pro Max, and that's really good because it does give me a little bit of Android feeling, not gonna lie. I mean, if you take a look at the design, it's not very far-fetched, right? They are slowly moving away from their regular iPhone designs. The outside designs, it's not very iPhone-like. I mean, take a look at it. It does look like, is it, what do you call it, Pixel? a little bit. So it does give me a little bit of Android vibe to it. Again, it's not very far-fetched, is it? Even if you take a look at the charging port over here, they moved away from from Lightning to Type-C as well. So that's also another thing to consider. Now, the next thing you notice about the 17 Pro Max, especially with its display, is that it's quite sharp and it reacts instantly. For example, take a look at this. Right, and that's me juggling between two home pages, mind you, right? It's quite sharp. And the next thing you notice about it is that obviously it does come with the Apple Intelligence over here. There's the side button over here, and what this button does is basically your camera button, but it helps you, skips the process of you searching for your camera app. For example, let's say the moment our phone is turned off right now and something is happening and you need to film it immediately, you can just press the button and it takes you straight into your camera mode. I believe that's really good because it saves you a lot of time, like I said, right? Just imagine something is happening and you really need to film it for your content on your daily Instagram stories, or for example, an emergency happened and you just want to film it immediately, and you can absolutely do so right now. And of course, we are not done with the Apple Intelligence because it actually comes with a lot of useful features. For example, if you scroll down, it switches the perspective of the camera to a selfie mode. However, if you scroll upward, or the more you scroll upward, the more it keeps on zooming in all the way to ×8 zoom. And that's a quite useful feature to have, I believe. I mean, you guys be the judge. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of the Apple Intelligence feature added on the 17 Pro Max down here. Alright guys, so this is a quick correction part of the video. Upon editing, I quickly noticed I made a mistake because I previously said that this Apple Intelligence feature was introduced solely on the 17 Pro Max, which is completely wrong. It was actually introduced with the 16 series and now it continues onward with the 17 Pro Max. So sorry about that, I just had to correct that real quick. Anyways, continue on, enjoy the video. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video as well. Now let's move on to the next feature of the 17 Pro Max, the camera settings, which I believe most people and myself, I'm quite excited for that. Let's move on to the camera. All right, now let's talk about our camera settings. But before we get into that, please remember when it concerns camera settings, it's always a matter of perspective, because what I like and what I prefer doesn't necessarily mean that you will like it or you would prefer it, right? You might have other priorities over me, so always keep that in mind, because whenever it concerns settings or camera settings, the way I view it is basically to each its own, or to each their own, I guess, right? So please continue with a grain of salt. Now with that being said, let's actually go. So make sure to click on camera, scroll down to record video. On video, I always like to keep mine at 4K at 30 FPS. Anything higher than that will consume more space, so 4K at 30 frames per second is more than enough. Slow motion, 4K at 120 FPS, high efficiency. Now, I rarely ever use slow-mo, but it's just there. So just leave it at 4K, 120 FPS, right? The next part is cinematic mode. I love cinematic mode, so it has to be at the highest, 4K at 30 FPS. Now, sounds of it, I think for sounds, it obviously gives you the spatial audio automatically, but always switch it to stereo if you want that authentic iPhone sound. Now, moving on from there, if you click on formats over here, now you can just go ahead and copy basically everything you see on the screen right now. But on camera capture, the first settings you guys see above, it gives you two options: high efficiency and most compatible. Now I always go with most compatible because high efficiency is great, it's amazing, but it always reduces the file size to save more storage, but I don't need that option. That's why I always go with most compatible, because it always uses JPEG to take photos and so on and so forth. So I prefer most compatible over high efficiency. So here it's just a matter of preference. Nothing too big about it. You can go with whatever you want to within those two settings. Photo mode, 24 MP is more than enough. You're good. Always make sure to activate Pro RAW settings with your camera. It's amazing. It's very, very helpful. And then from there, I think preserve settings. So just go ahead and turn on everything you see on the screen again. Camera mode, creative controls, and exposure adjustments, as well as, no, that's it. That's the last one. Now, with camera mode, the reason why you always have to activate it is because that way, whenever you switch to something you prefer, you don't have to go back and be arranging it anymore. It just saves that mode forever. Now, with that being said, I think that is it. No, wait, sorry, one more. Under composition, you can always activate grid if you want to. I believe a lot of people actually prefer the grid mode. I'm not a big fan of it, so I don't turn it on. But the most important thing under composition is the mirror front camera, because always activate it, because if you don't, whenever you take a selfie, that selfie will be inverted and you don't want that. So always activate it, that way it keeps everything in frame and keep it exactly the way you want it to be. Now with that being said, let's go ahead and do some experiments. I'm going to take pictures and videos with my 17 Pro Max and compare them to my 14 Pro Max, and I'll let you guys decide in the comment section below which is which, and of course which is better. Let's get into it. Alright, so this is me currently filming on the 17 Pro Max right now. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of the camera itself, the angles, and how it actually feels. Soon I'll be competing it against my 14 Pro Max, putting them side by side, and I'll also let you guys tell me in the comment section which is on the left side and which is on the right side. Without further ado, let's get into it. Well, also hopefully the frame doesn't drop, because I'll be editing everything on the 14 Pro Max. So hopefully when I send everything over, the frame won't drop. But let's cross our fingers and hope for the best. Let's get it. We remember all the good times, yeah. Let's celebrate though, let's celebrate. Here's to the good times, and this we'll never forget. Never forget. Dancing to the rhythm, we ain't got no regrets. To the good times, let the music play. We're making memories today. We got our share of ups and downs. Alright, so the final test right now of me using the front camera of both the 14 Pro Max as well as the 17 Pro Max. Now you guys can actually see how it feels using both the front camera on both devices. So let me know which one you guys actually prefer in the comment section below, the 14 Pro Max or the 17 Pro Max. I mean, the difference is pretty clear, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Now, moving on from there, we are going to be talking about the storage spaces of the 17 Pro Max and which should you go for. The basic version of the 17 Pro Max comes with 256 gigabytes, then it moves over to the 512, which is the one exactly in front of me, and then from there we have the 1 terabyte and 2 terabyte and so on and so forth. But let's start with the very basic one, the 256 gigabyte. Now, if you are a basic iPhone user or a basic phone user, go for the 256 gigabyte. You don't need 500 and above gigabyte. 256 gigabyte is a lot of space for you to play around with, regardless if you're taking a lot of pictures or videos and so on and so forth, unless you're taking them at the highest frame rate resolutions possible. I'm talking about 4K, 8K, which you really shouldn't. 1080 resolution is more than enough for a casual phone or iPhone user. So in that regard, 256 gigabyte is more than enough. Now we start looking towards 512 gigabyte if you are a photo nerd, in the sense that you have 15,000 photos and above, right? So we start looking towards the angle of upgrading, because I know there are, and I do know a lot of people with a lot of photos in their gallery, like it's mad. I do know people with 20,000. I really don't know why you should have that much, but hey, to each its own, right? So if you're among those people, 512 gigabyte is more than enough for you. That's like a sweet spot, and that's exactly why I went for it as well, because budget wise it's not as expensive as 1 terabyte and it gives you a lot of space, so why not? So 512 gigabyte if you're a serious photo nerd, or content wise you take a lot of pictures, a lot of videos, you know, you edit a lot, because editing also consumes a lot of space as well, especially when you start looking towards the realm of 4K high resolutions or even 8K. So people even do a film at 8K and stuff like that. So always bear that in mind, that 512 gigabyte is the sweet spot basically. Now 1 terabyte and above if you are a casual iPhone user, in the sense that you don't take a lot of pictures, right? You don't do a lot of high content videos. Stay away from 1 terabyte. You don't need that much space, because yes, my reasoning to that. With iPhone, I believe all iPhone users are guilty either way, because within 2 to 3 years you're going to switch that phone, and if you're a casual user using 1 terabyte, you're never going to use up that space, so you're just wasting it, right? So and again, it's just space. It's not like a feature that you're missing on. It's not, there's nothing there that you should be missing out on. There's no FOMO. It's just, it's a space that is just empty. So 512 is more than enough for any casual user. Now, for content creators and above, obviously, we are looking towards 512 and above. You have nothing to do with 256 gigabyte whatsoever. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. For content creators, serious photo nerds, 512 and above. Even 1 terabyte is even too much for photo nerds and people who take a lot of videos and stuff like that. 1 terabyte is still more than enough, to be honest with you guys. But that was the verdict from my side, guys. Now let's talk about if the upgrade to 17 Pro Max is worth it. Now, in my opinion, it depends. Now, here's why. Because if you're coming from the 16 Pro Max, trust me, there's absolutely no reason whatsoever for you to upgrade from the 16 Pro Max to the 17 Pro Max, because the features introduced to the 17 Pro Max are very minimal at best, and that's what iPhone always does, or Apple itself, because they are the company, right? They're the brand. So that's what Apple always do. So they always introduce minute differences or minute features and introduce them as 17 Pro Max, 18 Pro Max, 19 Pro Max. And it's a good strategy, apparently, because we keep falling for the same trap over and over and over again. Well, it works, so applause to them. But again, if you're from the 16 Pro Max going towards and thinking of buying 17 Pro Max, just wait for the next version. Honestly, there isn't any more, unless you're going for this specific design, then sure, why not? I mean, it is your money, so do whatever you have to do. But if you're talking towards camera wise, feature, battery, there's no need, right? Even though iPhone 17 Pro Max does beat it, it doesn't mean that it's worth the upgrade, to be honest with you guys. Now, if you're like myself, where we're all the way at the back at 14 Pro Max, then absolutely yes, because the 17 Pro Max beats the 14 Pro Max in almost every regard. Battery wise, camera, display settings, features, and so on. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. So with that being said, again, should you really upgrade to it if you're on the 16 Pro Max? Nah. Do you want to, or if you want to, you can, but you don't need to. If you're from the 14, so basically from the 15 onward, you don't have to. But if you're from the 14 and below, absolutely. Like, it goes without saying. So that's my verdict. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think, though, because at the end of the day, that was just my opinion. That was just me voicing out my opinion to you guys. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching the video all the way to this point. I truly appreciate your support. So please make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and share it. That way others can also see the video, and that way it improves the video's algorithm here on YouTube. I truly appreciate your support once more. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.